Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
Hello, this is Sarah. I'm from the great state of Connecticut. I was a Marine for 4 years. I just CAS'd last August. And I am a transgender woman. I was just inquiring on your thoughts. I know that you're very pro LGBT from what I understand. I've watched your channel for a while now. I was just inquiring what your thoughts were on the attempted ban for transgenders serving some military that Trump tried to put in place, I think it was 2, 3 years ago. Um, have a good afternoon.
I think my whole take on the entire situation is I'm bothered by the fact that Donald Trump has done everything he could, and more broadly, the Republican Party, to make the lives of LGBT people more difficult. Anything that they could do. They try to start culture wars over stupid shit, like the trans bathroom thing, try to ban gay marriage, all kinds of outrageous bullshit against the LGBT community. I just pulled this up. This is from the Office of the Attorney General. It's a letter, and it says, Dear Mr. President, Secretary Azar, Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, Secretary DeVos, and Secretary Acosta. It was released November 9th, 2018. It says, according to recent media reports, the administration is reportedly considering changes to federal law and policy to define sex as a biological, immutable condition assigned at birth. For the record, I want to mention that the science says that sex is biological and assigned at birth, and gender is social, but it shouldn't be viewed as immutable. There's treatment for gender dysphoria. It's transitioning. The White House went directly against the scientists and the doctors on this issue. This is just the route the administration took to attack human rights. The proposed actions are contrary to California and federal law and threaten the health, well-being, and economic security of individuals, families, and communities. Such a change would effectively deny the existence of transgender people and a large number of others who do not conform to traditional notions of binary gender identity. Such a move would remove these individuals from the coverage of federal anti-discrimination laws and trigger a host of other negative impacts. For this reason, I urge you to abandon these harmful and discriminatory efforts. As the Attorney General of California, it is my constitutional duty to safeguard the health and safety of our 40 million residents and to defend our state laws. California has been a leader in protecting civil rights and liberties for our thousands of transgender residents, working to ensure that individuals can work, learn, and receive care in a safe environment free from discrimination. For example, we were one of the first states to explicitly protect transgender students in our schools, and California has protected transgender people from workplace and housing discrimination for over a decade. The whole thing is a big, ugly clusterfuck, and honestly, that's what you get with somebody like Donald Trump. Not just Trump. Again, I want to make this clear. It's the Republican Party who's been a problem in this situation. They are doing everything they can to go back to quote-unquote traditional values, when traditional values just 30 years ago included making black people drink from colored water fountains. Why would anybody ever want to go backwards like that? The Republican Party is steered by the evangelical voting bloc. It's been like that for decades and decades. And evangelicals have always halted progress forward. They have always held us back as a society. Extreme right-wing Christians have always been a problem, have always stood in the way of society moving forward, and it needs to be dealt with. Now, Biden is officially the president-elect. He's going to be the president on January 20th. Much as I feel that Biden is more of a centrist than I like, the Overton window, the window of acceptable public discourse, will not be shifted further to the right by having a right-wing extremist conspiracy theorist as the president of the United States. The Overton window will shift more toward the center. Right now, you can't even find the fucking thing. It's so far right. So hopefully, just the fact that Biden is the president will help calm the culture war a little bit. And for the record, Biden did mention trans people in his victory speech after the election was over. That's a good sign. He's even tweeted about trans people. He didn't have to. He didn't have to do that. He could have just not said anything at all, and people would have supported him anyways because he's better than Trump. He chose to talk about trans people in a positive light. He chose to be encouraging and throw his support behind trans people. So it's better than nothing. I want to see a day when trans people are just as accepted as and considered equals to everybody else. We are preparing to move that direction. We took a few steps back, but hopefully the next 4 years we'll see a giant leap forward.